Hello everyone, Grace here again. In today's video we are having a wonderful person who is sharing her journey since her initiation in August 2018 until now. So please let me welcome Rakhi Chari, the Breatharian Yogini. Hope you enjoy it.
Okay, it's recording. Hello. Okay, so we wanted to do just a little short, like an interview.
Yes.
And
So we should introduce like who are you? You're going to
Yes.
interview for your channel, right?
yeah.
So then,
Yes.
or-
So
okay.
so hello. We have got today Rakhi Chari Breatharian.
The Breatharian Yogini. Rakhi Chari.
The Breatharian Yogini with us today, and I thought it would be a lovely idea to ask some questions to Rakhi, and some maybe questions that haven't been asked before, or
Yeah.
maybe now you want to, you're a little bit further on your journey,
Right.
so you might answer the same questions in a
Differently.
different way.
Right.
So, and I'm really inspired by your journey, and I feel really blessed that we were able to connect in Australia together, and now we're in
Yes.
Mount Shasta.
Yeah, we're in Mount Shasta. We can't see the mountain, but we're in Mount Shasta.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
yeah. Okay. So, I don't know. Obviously, people who might be watching this video, they might have seen some of your videos before. Maybe they haven't. So I don't want to go too deep into something that is already on the other videos that you shared.
Right.
But perhaps we can just put it like share from a bigger perspective, your journey
Okay.
from maybe even before I met you,
Okay.
because I met Rakhi last year in August 2018, and that was a Ray Maor.
2018, right?
Yes.
Yeah, August 2018.
Yes. At the Ray Maor's
Yeah.
9-day Breatharian
Yeah.
initiation.
Yeah.
And yes, and you have been breatharian since, not consuming any solid foods.
No solid foods, only on liquids. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, can you tell us, like, what made you decide to do this process?
Well, I was online and I heard this thing called breatharianism, and I saw an interview with Ray, and it's just something about the whole concept of not having to eat to survive just struck in me, and I was like, oh my god, is this actually possible? If it's possible, I want to do it. So and it was just, there's no stopping. I wasn't looking back because I tried to do as much research as I could, and I was like, oh my god, what is this thing? Is it possible? Is it possible? And I was just hooked. I was hooked, and I was like, okay, when is this retreats? And then I went to one of the retreats.
Yes. But you're saying that you had this, when you heard about it, that, if it's possible, I want to do it.
Yeah.
So why did you want to do it? Because some other people...
Well, see, I was already on this health journey. Like, I was, like, I used to eat meat, then I went to becoming a vegetarian, then a vegan, and then I was doing this whole raw vegan. I was always very health conscious, and I always knew that there's so many toxins in our environment, there's toxins in our food, and it's just like, well, wouldn't it be nice to live a toxic-free life? And wouldn't it be nice to live without food, and not to be a slave to food? And it was just something so refreshing, and so it's such a freedom to live that way, kind of. So I was like, I'd like to do that. That'd be great. So it was like a calling for me. It's like it's like even if I didn't want to do it, like I had to do it. It was like you have to do it.
You had to do it. Yes. There's a lot of people who talk about it, the calling. Whatever we do in life, really, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a calling.
It's a calling.
Yeah.
And now, so when we say about a calling, right?
Yeah.
Where do you think this calling come from?
Where does this calling come from? I don't know. I feel maybe the planet needs people to be on a higher vibrational frequency or something like that. And I just feel that maybe that's what my calling is, to kind of
helping the planet.
Yeah, helping the planet. And this is just my way of doing that.
Yes.
and just as I do it, I just feel that, you know, if I can do it, anyone can do it. You know, it could be anyone's journey.
Yeah,
and
it can
so
just spread.
It could, and so if I can help others or be an inspiration to others, then that's all. I don't
definitely
are. So I just that's all. I just feel like if any way I can help, then that's why I do what I do in terms of the videos that I put on.
Yes, awesome. Okay, so if I could ask you, just imagine myself before I done my process, trying to help everyone else who hasn't done the process. You know, we talk about that. You know, it's great to do the process and then you know, start this journey with some guidance and things like that. So you've done the Ray Maor's process, right?
Yes.
And then there's some guidelines that Ray gives, and you know how to follow up, and a lot of people do, and a lot of people become pranic on their own terms, if you may. So you have chosen the path to not touch any solid foods at all, and just go full on and just the liquids, right?
I feel like that's kind of something I can hold on to. You know? It's like, okay, if I can get further on this journey just by having solids, then just by having liquids. Then I'm just going to hold on to that because there's not like a manual on how to become pranic.
That's right.
So I'm like, okay, I'm going to hold on to this, and I'm going to see what else there is to discover. So I'm holding on to this one, and then let's see what else there is. So I'm holding on to the liquids here.
So can you tell us how you know, this whole, it's over a year now. How has this journey on liquids has been for you, you know? Because I imagine, you know, for me in the past, when I wanted to do particular, let's say, adventure, or, you know, I don't want to call it a fast, but let's say a juice or a month or whatever, things were coming up for me, and, you know, things happening. And so how were you coping with it? What were challenges? How were your journey look like?
Well, when I it was difficult to begin with because obviously there are food cravings and people are eating and you're smelling and you want to eat, and so all that was there as well. So that was difficult. I fortunately didn't have any detoxing symptoms per se. Like I didn't get sick, or I didn't have that like feeling weak or any of those kinds of symptoms. So I just, as soon as I finished the retreat, I was ready to like go and say, okay, I'm going to do it. And there was no looking back. So basically I stuck to the liquids, and I don't know if I'm answering your question, but how was my journey in the sense that...
like from there, from when you, you know, after the process, you made a decision, okay, I'm going to be just on liquids. Right?
And how was my journey?
And how was your journey up to now when you're on liquids now?
Well,
have you
so
noticed
many
any
things,
changes?
in terms of physically, so many things have happened. In terms of mentally, so many emotionally, there's so many changes that have taken place, and I feel like I've been on warp speed. You know, I'm just like, whoa, like so many things are happening, and so just being on liquids, I feel that so many things have happened. So in terms of what happened initially was really difficult. I know when you go through the process, it's really difficult in the beginning because you're losing a lot of weight, you're not looking the same as you do, and then people have a lot of comments and things that they have to, you know, tell you about, like, you know, you're looking sick, and do you have cancer, and do you have, you know, or, you know, all kinds of stuff about your well-being, and it may come out of a sense of concern for you, but nonetheless it hurts because, you know, it's like, oh God, I'm looking horrible, what's going on, right? Those kinds of things. Your clothes don't fit, and, you know, all that kind of stuff happens, and then you slowly, your body adjusts, and you slowly find your way, and then, you know, sometimes you do one heavier liquid, sometimes you want lighter liquids, but liquids nonetheless, you know, so you kind of give. So when your body, when you see someone eating something, you're like, well, you know, I'd like to have that too, like, you know, but then I'm like, okay, well, there's this liquid that I like, why don't I have that instead? And just kind of appease yourself and satisfy yourself, like, I can't have that, but I'll have this thing, you know, so that kind of stuff out. So do you find little tricks to kind of manage to stay on liquids in a way? And I think another thing that's happened is that I kind of made my environment really like stress-free, where I try to make it stress-free. So to not have, you know, people have jobs and things that they have to do that causes stress and anxiety and family and, you know, so I have tried to kind of eliminate all that and try to go as far on my journey as possible. So that's what I tried to do, because I think having, you know, all the daily real life stresses can even make it more difficult to go on this journey, because stress and whatever, it's like, oh, there's some food, let me just eat it, because food has so much more to us than just nourishment. Food has emotional things and all kinds of other things attached to it, and so if you're feeling stressed or feeling something, then you want to grab something and eat it.
That's right.
And so I've tried to maintain this kind of stress-free environment, so I can just do a lot of meditations or try to really get into this thing, because I've been really serious, like I want to do this. So I'm like, I want to do this.
Yes. So when you say eliminate, this stress causing environment, I think situations like work,
get rid of relationships that are not working, get rid of things that are not contributing to your well-being and to your highest level that you can be, to get you to that kind of gratitude and happiness level. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay. All right. So in terms of family, so you haven't got any family?
Well, I do. I have a son, and so he's he hasn't ever been. I mean, not ever, but he hasn't. And during my journey, he's actually been quite a support. So he hasn't been a stress or anything.
Yes.
So, he's actually been quite.
How young or old is your son?
He's 19. He's going to be 19 now.
19.
So,
Okay.
He's 18.
Can you tell us how old you are?
I'm 49. I'm going to be 49 and a half. I'll be 50 soon.
You look amazing.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. Do you think it's prana that's feeding you and making you look younger and younger each time?
Well, it's funny because as I came down on this journey, people said you're looking older, you're looking worse. So it was that whole transition. But I think my body's kind of adjusted, and thanks for saying that. I look younger, but that hasn't been always the case on my journey. In this chronic journey for the past year.
Yes.
And I think your body is constantly cleansing itself, and I have so much more energy, and I have so much more life and zest to life. It's like life is great, you want to live it, right? And so,
that's right.
So the happiness is there, all that is there, and of course I'm sleeping less, and I don't need as much sleep. I get about 4 hours of sleep a night, and 6 is like me sleeping 10 hours for like a normal person. 10 hours, because 6 is like, whoa, that's really good, but 4 hours is good.
Would it be 4 hours, let's say, like depending on what you had before, like what kind of juices or liquids you had, or it doesn't really matter?
It doesn't really matter, because whatever I consume, I can usually consume it earlier in the day, and so it's not that it's kind of weighing me down towards the end of the day. So I think about 4. But I mean, not to say that 4 is always enough. Sometimes I may go up to 6 hours. So 4 to 6 hours is kind of what I.
Okay. And so when you sleep those 4 hours, what kind of time of the day or night
is it? Okay, sleep? So I try not to sleep very early, because if I sleep around 9 o'clock, then I'll be up at 1 o'clock in the morning, right? So it's like, okay, and then I'm up, right? So I try to push it, so I'm sleeping around midnight or 1 o'clock, and then I can wake up early in the morning, and then I do my meditations and I do all that kind of stuff. So,
yes, I feel like has been my struggle coming back to the family and not sleeping at night.
Okay.
So we try to adjust to the environment, like obviously
right
at night.
Like when everyone's sleeping, you shouldn't be going around making noise, trying to like, okay, let me just stay up really late and wake up really early.
So it's interesting.
It
okay
is.
So you've got you eliminated some things that might have been maybe not so supportive of your journey, and then the relationships as well, and you said about the work. So what do you do now for a living?
I'm just I'm not really doing anything for a living. I'm actually traveling around quite a bit. So I think this is we have different times in our life where we do different things. So I think this is right now a phase in my life where I'm on this breatharian journey, but I'm also traveling a bit. And I do think, like as I was on this journey, I do think that what happens is you kind of get a little. Like, you're not so focused when you're traveling. Like, if you're in one place, you can have a routine. But when you're traveling, you're kind of all over the place. So it makes this journey even more difficult. So I think at the end of this show, I'm not going to travel as much because I want to get even more focused. And I think my traveling has made it a bit more tricky.
Tricky, okay.
Because you travel with people, let's go out to a restaurant, let's do this. It's like, it becomes difficult. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna at the end of this year, I'm not gonna travel as well.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. But this year I've just been traveling since February. So.
I would imagine that for me, traveling would be easier.
Ah.
But because of my situations,
right? Because at home, right?
We're at home, and so traveling
right.
makes it easier because I don't have to make sure that everyone is happy with everything and myself and following all the rules of the family environment.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, in your situation, family would be traveling would be easier.
Yes, yeah.
In my situation where I don't have that, actually traveling is much more difficult. So
this is interesting how every path of the breatharian could be different.
Yeah.
So something else is feeding us, something else is, we're not all the same.
We're not all the
It's
same.
not like a template.
And our environments are different,
Yes,
because I have my son, but he's not always, he's going off to college and, so I'm like a nomad now.
Yeah.
So.
And now with the routine, for instance, what I was saying about the traveling as well, that helps me because for me, it's like when I'm in one spot, it's almost like the energy is stagnant unless I'm, exchanging with people, right?
Okay.
So when I imagine if you were when you're moving, it's gonna help you too in a way because
maybe.
a constant flow.
But when I'm traveling with people, I'm traveling with a group, and they have their energies they bring in, and then they wanna. So they have breakfast, and then they have lunch, and then they have dinner, and then they have snacks, and it's like it's like I'm constantly around that.
Yeah.
Whereas when I'm on my own, I don't have to be around that. I can not be around. Okay. But I think as I go on, I think those things won't bother me. Maybe I'd be like, okay, It's not that I want to eat it. It's just like I think it's past memories of me eating it. Like someone gave it to me. It's like I wouldn't want it. I wouldn't even want to taste it.
Yes.
Just because.
Just like a recollection.
Yeah. And then I'll get hungry. Like it triggers me. It's like I should be hungry. They're eating. I should also. That whole thing is still there.
Yeah. Okay. It's interesting. Well, it would be great to do maybe having some conversation, let's say in next year, and see how it changed, from 0 to 1 and from 1 to 2, in terms of linear years. How are you gonna? So, what countries have you visited so far, and what countries are on the map?
Oh my gosh, I visited. I was in Iceland, and then I went through Europe, and then to Russia, and then to Mongolia and China, and I've been in the Caribbean this year. This is only this year, and now I'm going to go to Spain, Portugal, Morocco, and then I'm going to go to Central America. So then, and that'll take me
to
the
Australia,
and I've been to Australia. I'm going to go to Australia next year.
Yes.
And I've been to Australia. So I've been to
traveling, moving the energy everywhere.
I'm moving the energy everywhere.
And taking your energy somewhere.
Taking it on, and the traveling has been interesting because So that's another thing I want to mention. Like when I go out and we're with the group and people are all having dinner, then I'll order a soup. And when I order a soup, everyone's okay with that. It's not like that. Oh, well, how come you're not eating? I don't get any of that. So people seem to be okay if you just order a soup.
Yes,
because they feel like, oh, at least she's eating, right? It sounds like she's like some weirdo that's kind of on. I mean, they may think that, but they don't really tell me that, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
Yeah.
So, do you find like in your path the last year, hasn't been like a lot of people thought like that there was something unusual about your journey?
You mean like my friends and family?
Yeah, friends and family. Like you mentioned the strangers that.
I think the first thing is, you've lost so much weight. What happened? Why are you losing so much weight? I think that's the first thing that hits people is that I've lost weight. And then the second thing is, why are you doing this? And then I think I've been fortunate because I'm from an Indian background that when this whole prana thing, they don't think, oh God, she's lost her mind. They kind of understand. And so I think I've been extremely fortunate because of that. Otherwise, I don't know how to deal with family and all that. It would be very difficult. But I think my journey has been a bit easier because my family has been accepting of this whole pranic thing. It's like, okay, prana, okay,
Yes. Yeah. So what's the in India, what is the concept of prana? How do they understand it?
Well, they do know. I mean, all Indians know that there are yogis in the Himalayas who are living on this energy, this pranic energy. And so that's something that they know that's happened. And even my mom, she's like, yeah, when I was younger, these yogis used to come down to the mountains, and they would be like naked walking down the street, and and so they wouldn't eat anything and stuff. So that's in their consciousness. They know about it. So when my mom tells my relatives, they don't feel like, oh, that's like, they just kind of leave me alone. So
yes,
okay, yeah.
It's almost like a real yogi, just in the Western world,
right.
Because you do yoga too, right?
I do yoga,
yoga.
Yeah. I do yoga as well. So
have you noticed any differences in your yoga practice before being?
Oh my God, my stamina is so much better. Okay. I can go on and do the yoga poses, and the flexibility is there as well. So I don't get tired as easily. Yeah, I have more stamina now.
Yeah, wow, that's pretty cool.
Maybe because I weigh less, so I have more. But I don't know what it is. But I do have.
Everyone go Rani.
Yeah,
have more stamina.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And and people also say, also like when I'm traveling with my son, they think that I'm the older sister and he's my brother, or they'll think that somehow they're a couple or something. The kind of pairs.
Yes.
But not very often do they think that I'm my son's mother, kind of thing. Yes. But I mean, some people do, but I do get a lot of the other stuff.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, so it's kind of I think because also I've become thinner, slimmer, and so that kind of goes with the younger body where you're slimmer and stuff. If you're bigger, then goes with kind of generally speaking.
Yes. The mainstream is like that.
Yeah,
and even I think Ray also talks about why do we put on weight after we're 30.
Yeah.
It's not like we have to, right?
Right.
Yeah. So there is this concept and the belief that's what normally happens.
Yes.
Reach some like a menopause or this particular stage.
And because of the belief, we're actually making it a reality for ourselves.
That's right.
Those are all interesting things. Yeah.
Okay. So what, in terms of your beliefs, because you were born in India, right?
Yeah.
So your parents are Indian, and so the cultural background. So has anything changed in terms of, your faith or religion beliefs in terms from the beginning to like now, to shift these?
I was never religious. So I know my parents were Hindus in my family and all that, but I never really was religious or anything. But what I have seen happening recently is a lot of synchronicities are happening. Things are falling into place, and things that I want is kind of materializing. And that is really freaking me out. It's like, oh my God, is it really God up there? Like, what is happening here? So I'll put something out there, and somehow, it does come in.
Yes. So can you give us like an example? What happened recently that you just thought, it would be nice to this happened, and then
so many things. Like one thing I did a video on. That was a synchronicity. Like some of the financial things. Like I was like, I wish that something like this, it would happen, and then slowly like it's happening, and it happened, and I did a video on this. I was on my way to Vienna, and it was just synchronicity. The train broke down. I had like no currency, local currency, and I went out to get a taxi, and there were no taxi stands or taxi or anything there. No one spoke English, and I looked in the distance, like about a block away, and there was a taxi getting people into the taxi. And I asked the taxi guy, the driver, I said, is there another taxi that I can take? And he's like, no, whatever. And then all of a sudden the door opened up of the taxi, and this woman came out, and she was like, is it just the two of you? And we're like, yeah. And it was my son and I. Yeah. And she's like, oh, okay. Well, why don't you guys get in, because we're going to the same place you guys are going. And they gave us a ride. And it's just almost like the universe is kind of taking care.
Yes, that's right.
And the rest of the people are still on the platform waiting for this train to come. And I don't know how long they would have been there, but I was like, no, we're going to take a cab home. And we did. So it happened. So it was like, wow,
I keep telling people about this manifesting powers all the time, because it's like, when you like connected in the flow with this energy, and it's, you think it, and it happens, right?
Yeah,
and sometimes,
yeah.
but of course, for me, it has to be genuine intention. So I would say, but sometimes it's like I don't know what's blocking people from taking that next step and believing it. You know, believing that it's really that easy. You know, it's really.
I think a lot of doubts come in, a lot of other things come in, and then it's not allowed to manifest. But if people only found out how easy it was. I mean, I myself, I'm not able to manifest maybe the way you are. You know, I'm trying to get better at it and try to really believe in it and that it's going to happen. But I think it is a belief, like a belief that you can live on prana. You know,
it's not just like, it's freaking you out a little bit that it's happening like this.
So it's a belief that it will happen, you know. But I'm like, oh my god, it happened, you know.
It's like oh, surprise.
Right. So
right, awesome. What other benefits have you noticed from being on this path? So you mentioned stamina, the manifestation, the synchronicities.
Yes. What other benefits have I noticed? I've noticed
looking younger.
Although
some people think maybe otherwise.
Right.
But you feel younger?
I feel younger.
Yes.
That's the thing. I feel lighter. I feel younger. I feel better. So you don't get colds. You don't get all that kind of stuff, and it just nothing kind of bothers you in a way. You're kind of in your own energy thing. So, and relationships around me have changed. Relationships that were not that positive have become positive.
Okay.
So it's like I have changed, so people around me have changed how they deal or interact with me. So I think everything is just positive.
Everything
so
goes into
it's like, why would you not do this, huh? It's like so positive.
So would you say that any not positive things?
No, I think it's just part of the letting go and shedding process in the beginning, like my hair was falling out, and you just getting used to the fact that your body is changing. And if you can kind of hold on and say things are going to change, so if you can just kind of hold on and say things are going to change, then and say, you know what, this is going to be a journey. So I'm going to hold on for six months or something, and just hold on to it. Even come what may, just hold on to the liquids.
Just make a strong intention.
And if you do it, then there's no looking back.
What if someone struggles? Because we can hear a lot of people there's some reports of and people ask me. There's another lady who was interviewing me said, what do you think that? Don't you think you might die? And I said, it never crossed my mind, actually. So, but there's some reports of people dying. So, what would you say to that? Someone say, "Oh, I can't hold on to it," and then someone feels like, "Oh, I'm gonna."
Right. Well, I think if you've gone through I think a person saying that is a person who hasn't gone through the process. But I think if you've gone through the initiation and the process, then I think you already start believing that your body is amazing and you can do amazing things. Because if you can go 4 days without food or water, then you have a new sense of belief, like, oh my god, I could do this,
that's right.
So I think it gives you a new sense of confidence. But I think then is to take it the next step and just hold on to the liquids and just come what may, stick it through, and then there's no looking back. That's what I think.
Wonderful. Thank you
so much.
So I think it's if we have created some kind of a formula for people who have not been on this journey, right? No, they haven't done the process. And maybe they don't feel the calling. Because, it's the first time they hear about it and I think, this is like crazy. I remember when I heard it for the first time, that was long time ago. And I was on my, I was almost vegan. I was vegetarian at the time. And then there was something about the raw people, just eating just raw food. And I was like, wow, that's really full on. And then I've seen this documentary, I think it was in some kind of Scandinavian country, about people living just on energy. And I was like, this is like really out there. I said, nah, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to watch anymore because it's going to be too much.
That was the opposite of my thing. I was like hooked.
I said, no, but at the time, it was almost 20 years now, 15, 18,
a long time ago.
A long time ago. But it's almost like this seed was planted. It was something there I had.
Right.
And now from this perspective, I think for us, sharing with people who haven't done it is like, just be open.
Just be open, and then anyone can do it. I mean, you just need to feel that that's your calling, or that you can do it. I mean, if you don't feel it, then obviously
that's right. It won't happen.
It won't
because
happen.
it will have to be within.
Absolutely.
And then for those who have done the process, the formula would be
come what may. Stick to the liquids for 6 months and just stick it through. People may say you look horrible, people may say whatever but just stick to your favorite liquids. It could be even like smoothies, really thick things, you know? As long as it's liquid, just stick to it.
That's right.
And your body will start changing, you'll start changing, and things just start changing.
I would probably say, just from my point of view, also to trust yourself. Really trust. Because, and also, I think this trust also comes from other people, like yourself. You know, you've done it for a year. So if there is someone, you know, and you're real, right? You know, there's other people like that who have done this process, and this journey is possible. It's we're not talking about something is not possible. We're talking about how is it possible now? Because we know it's possible.
And it's just the perseverance to kind of stick it through. And I know that life happens, things happen, whatever. But if you really want to go on this journey, you know, my only thing would be just hold on to the liquids and just stick it through for 6 months, and you'll see your life. I mean, you probably won't go back to things.
Beautiful. I'm just trying to look at the. Oh, okay, so what tips would you give? Just looking at my questions.
What
here.
tips?
Like tips for people. Let's say, like, you know, you mentioned like hold on to these liquids and I think that's. But sometimes it's hard to hold on, right? You said there's gonna be comments, the family. You know, not everyone can just leave the job, you know, or leave the family and go away and go and travel. So for those people who are, let's say, typical human on the planet, let's say the majority, the average person, without being, you know, worse or better, just someone, you know, the general population, working.
I think a lot of changes might need to happen. Because if you're working at a job that you don't like, then you're not going to be happy. I think in order to be on this path, you need to be happy. So I think if you're happy with your spouse, if you're happy with your job, if you're happy with the kids, you know, then but if you're not happy, then it's just going to hit you in the face. Right? So you may need to change jobs. You may need to change your spouse. You know, I mean, you may need to make changes in order to get to that level of you know, nourishment. Because I think you have to be at a very happy space in your life and in a very positive space. And I think that's where you're at your highest vibrational frequency. And I think that's when things just start flowing and happening. And so that's my tip. And I know may not be feasible for everyone, but I think if you want to go on this path, then the only way to do it is to surround yourself with positivity.
And I think you're bringing up just such an important a point on this journey, because I have noticed the same thing, and sometimes, like in the past, and from other people who have been on this journey or who haven't been on this journey, is sometimes it's like you think that this going on the vegan diet or raw fruitarian diet or being pranic, that this will bring you happiness and some enlightenment, right?
Well, in a sense, it will bring some for you to make that change in your life, right?
But I think what you're saying and what I have discovered as well, that in order to go there, it's like you already have to be at some point in your life.
You have to,
you know?
You have to clean your plate out.
That's right.
So before my my first breatharian initiation with Ray, I kind of cleared my plate out because I didn't want to come back to an environment where I was struggling, and I knew that this was very important to me, and I was like, okay, I want to make this thing happen. So I cleared things out, and I said, okay, I'm ready now. Let's do it. I know the journey's going to be difficult. Like, you know, initially it's difficult, and and I didn't want to make it more difficult on myself by having extra baggage or negative energy.
So in a way, you have to be happy to do this and not the other way around.
Right. You have to be happy. You have to be in that happiness
In
state.
the happiness state.
If you're not in the happiness state, you're just going to start eating because food will just kind of give you that happiness sometimes that you need. So you have to be at the really happy state. Yeah.
And I think what also food will do, just now I'm thinking about it, you know, that we will search for that food when we're not happy to make us happy.
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
Yes. And the food will find you because you go to a restaurant or something, it'll be right there. Oh, I want that. Definitely.
Food is incredible.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Food has so many purposes. Yeah. We have an incredible relationship with food. Yeah. It's like breaking, I keep thinking of it as addiction. It's like breaking that addiction.
Yes.
We've been addicted since we were born, right? It's like, now how do you break it? It's difficult. So it's a slow journey. It's like not like overnight you're going to be like, oh, no, I'm pranic, I'm a breatharian. No. It's a slow journey. And it's continuing on my journey. You know?
That's right.
Yeah, it's right.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Grace. I had a nice time.
Yeah,
Chatting away.
Awesome.
Well, thank you very
much. Thank you for watching.
Yeah. Bye. Bye.